something you already got. Another orange morning, it's time to show. Another orange morning, it's time to grow. Another orange morning, let the updates flow. Another orange morning, you already know. Friends are coming through the door. Wheels are spinning on the floor. We don't know what we don't know. That's the only way to grow. Another orange morning, it's time to show. Another orange morning, it's time to grow. Another orange morning, let the updates flow. Another orange morning, you already know. What you're looking for is in your hand, been there all along. Pour another cup and pull a chair. Sing along. Another orange morning, it's time to show. Another orange morning, it's time to grow. Another orange morning, let the updates flow. Another orange morning, you already know. Hey! Hey!
Good morning, HubSpot Nation. Welcome to another orange morning. It is Friday, August 28th, 2026. Happy Friday, Madeline. Good morning.
Happy Friday. Good morning.
It's been a fun week.
It has been a fun week. It's also a full moon,
There you go. Yeah.
which explains a lot, I feel like.
If you
Just
wanted
in case
to.
anybody
Yeah.
in case anybody else needed to hear that, that's the reason that
Yeah.
your life has been the way it's been.
Yeah. In case you need that extra stuff to just release yourself from those moments for sure. Casey's taking a rest day today too, so it's just me and you. Excited to see the horoscopes and the stuff that you've done on the website later in the show. And just a friendly reminder for those going to Unbound, September 1st, Monday, you can start signing up for sessions. If you're VIP, you've already gotten a chance to do that. So if you want to get in there before everybody else can, and make sure you save your seat to sessions like George's marketing session, among others, always fills up. Yeah, September 1st for general admission. I'll be on there for sure. Maybe even, this reminds me, it's like happens organically every year. I'd be like, oh, it'd be cool to do this live. Like, just sign up for sessions
Yeah.
live, right? So excited for that. And then we'll also do a little bit of Will It Breeze later today. I love seeing the word coaching on on this page whenever it shows up. I think one of the best values of AI is when you can put it in a position to create coachable moments. And we see this update here: new customer agent coaching opportunity, Action Gap. What is it? Action Gap is a new coaching opportunity type that automatically analyzes your conversations to identify actions your customer agent needs but doesn't have configured yet.
Why does it matter? Customer agent can only resolve conversations when it has the right actions available. But it's easy to miss gaps, whether the action was never enabled, was built but not published, or simply didn't exist yet. When that happens, the agent can answer questions but can't complete the task, leading to avoidable handoffs. Action Gaps surfaces these opportunities so that you know exactly where to improve your agent.
And what I see happening is that like humans are the ones building the agents, configuring the agents. So if there's a gap to be found like this, it often relates to there being a real process gap or a real gap in the process of setting up customer agent that, also coaches the humans at the same time. Like, by the way, like AI is not going to solve this problem that that humans haven't solved, themselves yet when it comes to just not having the context you need to, you know, to take the action that you need to take. So very cool that they've introduced this concept of coaching opportunities. Um, have you seen customer agent in action much at all?
I have not. I know that the admin hub has done a ton of stuff with that, along with some of the other agents, but I have not.
Yeah, it's I've only experienced it with Zach on some of the content, Zach Hushin, some of the content that we've done. It's a
He's
very
great at the agents,
yeah,
generally. Like, he's my trusted source for explaining it the way I need it explained.
yeah, for sure. And he's done some fun stuff with his Willy Wonka themed, website and customer agent, and he's got to call in people like all kinds of stuff. So lots of power there. It's just one of those things that's if you don't have the use case of people, you know, coming to a website and talking to an agent like this, it can be hard to kind of think out loud about what this could be doing for you. Um, what other words on the screen get your attention?
Um, I am curious about the buying groups.
That is trending.
It is trending.
What is it? Buying groups just got more powerful. Buying groups bring powerful context right into HubSpot, making it easier than ever for your team to understand and influence every decision maker involved in a sale, expansion, or renewal. This new functionality centers around two key elements. One, the buying group allows sales and customer success teams to get a clear visual of the key stakeholders they are prospecting, selling to, and managing. The account map provides a clear visual of the structure of the company. To add the
And for
card,
anyone listening, that looks a lot like an org chart, the account map.
yep, it certainly can. Um, and what I'm curious about is like when this first came out, like lots of stuff, sales focused, it's very much tied to the deal and what associations exist on the deal. Um, Associations, I'm sure, still play a role, but I'm curious, like when you let the AI help, it can just use job titles, to set it up.
Right?
Um, right. But then like matching that with associations and association labels is going to be even more powerful. And to start linking things, or maybe this is just a shortcut around that too. That certainly could be the case. Just be careful with you know, the ever-present risks related to basing anything on job titles
Yeah,
in your CRM.
especially
Um,
in we know how that goes. There's 20 different titles for a CRM admin alone, so
yeah, I'm very interested. With account maps, HubSpot gives you a clear visual view of parent-child company relationships. Uh,
ugh, that just
it,
clicked after you said that, and just like a wave of relief came over me.
it can. Again, like how much this can do it for you, and
Yeah,
just hasn't been a great muscle in the ecosystem of understanding the need for parent-child company
right.
relationships, and then how to do it because it really forces you away from relying on domain to create
Right.
records.
Yeah,
Right.
there is. You're right. There's no real like function in HubSpot that kind of, I don't know, instinctually helps you do it, helps you shape it.
Right. Yeah. I haven't found a way other than manually managing it via naming
Right,
conventions. I
naming
say manual,
conventions or
but
custom properties or yeah.
right. And I say manual, but
Yeah,
it's
we all know
it's
you can do
manual.
anything manually.
It's manual management of something on the way to having the right naming convention, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes it can be simple as like, HubSpot dash Boston, HubSpot dash San Francisco. You're trying to like understand the different locations. Oftentimes it's not that easy, but usually those variables are available as properties elsewhere on the record that as long as the sales team or whoever is responsible for the record at any given moment, which is another challenge, like it can maintain those naming conventions in a way that's needed.
Yeah,
Um,
and
but
not just yeah, sorry.
it also creates the scenario. It unlocks, but also you have to catch this up front. Like we have a client that we're working with, and it was unnatural for me to open up this contact company or this company record and see 5 different versions of their name of the
Yeah,
company. But it was required because we were fetching credit, like credit information automatically, where the thing is in all caps and it's got to be a specific way for government purposes. And then the accounting system needs it to be in a certain way. And we want them to give us that information. And
mhm,
and like it can't mess with those two things. So we need a customer input version. Then we have an account system architecture. So we actually do the manual naming for
right,
sales to be able to very easily see a list and which location. And the reason to do that is because every location has different people that you want to communicate with and manage a relationship with. So all of that pretty much impossible when you live in a world of like one contact and one company per one deal.
right.
And we just don't live in that world anymore. I'm not sure we ever did, but uh yeah, so it's interesting how important that conversation around company naming conventions is before you can do like any kind of process improvement and integration work. Uh, so good to see that in all likelihood, no matter which way they're doing it, they're making that conversation easier by giving
Right.
us like visuals of the situation. Smart duplicate handling in multi object imports. I am interested in those words. What is it going forward? Import will better handle scenarios where you don't include a unique ID in a single file multi object. Create and update import.
Oh god, my team's gonna kill me. We just figured this out literally the other day.
What did you have to figure out, Madeline?
Mul multi-company, oh geez, I don't even know. Like explaining the well, complex process of okay, I have to import something to get the record IDs, and then I have to export that so I have the record IDs, and then I have to associate that all the different objects. But like that was either too many spreadsheets to import to HubSpot for HubSpot's brain to handle all at once, or it was too much for my brain to handle to figure out how to configure it for HubSpot's brain. So I have a feeling this is going to directly improve that.
Yeah. Uh, and we'll figure it out as we go because they don't say exactly how. It just
Yeah.
will better handle scenarios. Um, and that's like with most admins that have developed that process that you just described, it's like, how do you even test this out like effectively? Like one of the most annoying things is going through the import process in any degree and then finding out that you're not going to be able to finish like the import, which is why all of these processes have been built. That said, this is one of the sleeper places I think where the improvements over the last couple of years have just been pretty insane in terms of what you can get away with while importing now and like changing all the data that you want. HubSpot helping you figure out what that data needs to look like on the way in. Being able to do stuff without unique IDs is another level, right? So be very impressed to see and how that's going to work. So many issues in HubSpot relate to duplicate handling. So any additional smart duplicate handling anywhere in or around HubSpot will be appreciated. What
That one
else
is also
is
catching
there?
my eye. The property history
Property
table
history
updates.
updates. Yep. What is it? The property history table on a record side panel has been updated with a cleaner layout, a new column structure, filtering, and a direct way to restore property changes from the history view.
Why does it matter? When you spot a problematic change in a record's property history, there's currently no way to act on it from that view. You have to leave the record, navigate to a separate restore tool, and reconstruct the same filter criteria from scratch. This update surfaces a restore CRM data entry point directly in the property history table. You can investigate and act on data problems without navigating to another area of HubSpot. Everything is in one place, saving you valuable time. Interesting.
Super powerful now. So much of this visibility has been asked for a long time. I'll just say it's probably a new permission that you need to manage
Yeah,
carefully,
that's where my brain's going to.
right? Like restore, it's just restoration. Like if it's going to trigger a workflow or not, like lots of stuff to understand there. Of course, read-only properties are excluded from the restore action automatically, which is good. But yeah, there's so many moments where I wished like that we could enable teams when they know they make a mistake and ultimately they're responsible for the relationship view that's in front of them. If they don't know how it works, it's very hard for them to own it. And then they constantly ask admins to do things that are automatic that really, should or shouldn't be. And empowering folks to fix things that they know for sure to be inaccurate like this, like when they just pick the wrong thing and then they can't change it without asking an admin for help. Like I guarantee that's one of the biggest reasons for people to not do things like inside of HubSpot, right? Because they're afraid, like it doesn't feel safe that they can make mistakes like they can in a spreadsheet, for example.
Right.
Right. So, so the visibility, the visual nature of this update or the property history table is now a little bit more robust, and you can filter and do all this stuff. Is very, very powerful for sure. Let's see. What else do we have? Anything from the week that you've been dying to talk about since you saw it?
Sorry, felt a sneeze coming.
Yep, no worries.
Let's see.
Had a long conversation about the mobile app yesterday with Trisha.
Yeah.
Ton of updates there, especially for anybody going to Unbound. Like, take a look
Yes.
at your HubSpot mobile app. being able to record conversations with Breeze and easily search your database now without having to know exactly how to spell the record, right? All of that's becoming much, much more possible. So definitely check that out. I think you highlighted copy associations
I
via
was gonna
workflow.
ask that's a huge one. I wasn't sure if you guys covered that this week.
Yep. We did, but worth highlighting again. I always think we can create more awareness around associations, especially in moments like this where you didn't use associations because it was too hard.
Right.
This is one of those changes that should make that part easier. Copy associations via workflows. Create associations between records based on an intermediary record. So when a record is already associated to two other records that aren't connected to each other, a workflow can now bridge them. For example, a company is associated to both a deal and a contact, but the deal and contact aren't directly linked. The workflow takes the existing company associations and connects the deal to the contact automatically.
I think just based on that description, like it goes to all of the revenue object. But of course, I'm sure some of those are going to be locked down based on you needing to upgrade to Revenue Hub. But like if you have customers that have deals and there's orders on those deals, or if you have an integration that's sending over certain things and they send over a certain association but not an additional association, that 3-step jump can be solved really efficiently with this. So very exciting.
Yeah. And I think so I love repeating ourselves in these cases. Like every time I talk about it out loud, I get more ideas for how we can use it. And, on the value path, Oaks and I talk a lot about deal management in terms of, do you know all of the stakeholders involved? Have they been associated to the deal? And once you decide that can be your strategy, or that should be your strategy, now you can leverage this to make sure the reps don't have to somehow keep track of everybody filling out a form all over the company that relates to that deal. And whenever the CFO asks a direct question and somebody else puts it in the system, now it can automatically, with proper configuration, add that person. Is all of a sudden we have visibility on the budget holder, right? And we wouldn't. It's hard to keep track of all that stuff when you got 5 or 6 people on a buying committee. And this is the kind of stuff, once we do the work to understand which people we need associated when, it can still be owned by the sales team in this case, in this example. But usually I go hard on not automating associations on behalf of the sales team. But in this moment where we've already have the strategy, we need to have these 5 folks identified if we're going to have any chance of winning this deal. Then it's, it moves the salesperson's responsibility to finding the association and making sure it's associated to, next time they look at the deal, oh, this new person is associated. It's got this label. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. Cool. We can move forward.
Or it makes sure that they only have to do that once.
Right.
Maybe they only have to do it on a certain record, a certain type of record, and they don't have to then turn around and do it for every other type of record that is in the loop.
Yeah. And then when we get
parent-child, yeah.
We get into renewals or expansion deals across, man, there's so much that can be done here in terms of the new deal gets created for another location, but there's still a CFO at the top. Whether it's the same sales rep or not is going to come into play. And that second sales rep might not have any idea what happened on the
Yeah.
first deal, right? So this can, man, yeah, a lot of people are excited about this one. A lot of workarounds exist to make this happen, as Casey's mentioned a few times. And actually, on our first ever episode of the HubSpot helpline, she showed off this workaround where you're just creating all of these different ID fields on the various objects so that you can manage this. So in private beta, short video to check out here. I think Maggie
Nice.
Mirsky posted earlier this week on LinkedIn about this too. I'm waiting for the right time to ask her about unboxing this because it's going to be pretty exciting. Let's find one more, or like any other. I think you'll be interested in self-selection on CRM index pages, and you should check that out.
Cool.
Basically, a click and drag over any of the cells on an index page, just like you could in a spreadsheet, and then doing stuff to those
Well,
cells. Yeah,
sales
through
directors, there's no excuse anymore. No spreadsheets. There's no excuse.
yeah, it's pretty much feels like full parity, aside
Yeah.
from the fact that you can, do formulas inside of your spreadsheets. Like, except for that, you can now, like the example I talked about yesterday is the moment where it's like you want to do something to most of the list that you're looking at, and you have to make a choice of either I select all right now and then uncheck the ones that aren't going to get hit, or start from scratch and just check the ones that I want to do. Now you can just say, all right, these are the 10 that I want to change the stage on,
Yeah.
and do it just for those 10. So I was pretty excited about that one yesterday.
Chris, there's one that we need to click on.
Okay.
Rounded corners and border enhancements in marketing email.
Indeed. A good way to end our updates round today. What is it? You can now apply rounded corners and border styles directly to email sections in the drag and drop editor, giving your emails a polish, on brand look without touching code. As part of this update, the box layout option is being removed, as rounded corners and section borders can now achieve the same effect with more flexibility and control. And
I'm
Madeline
so
is
excited.
excited.
I was so excited about that. That's like the one thing that that email editor can't do. Like whenever you're trying to design an email in HubSpot, people are always like, what can you do? What can't you do?" And I'm always like, "You can do anything. It's just like a normal email editor." And then I always forget that it's just the stupid sections, like that you can't customize the background color or like the text containers themselves like the way that you want to. This is gonna be so good. I'm so excited.
That's awesome. Good to hear. Uh, Probably it's just important to remind the box layout option has been removed from
Mhm.
template design, in case you were, or at least when you click join beta,
Yeah, that's
that
true.
might go away. And as always, my friendly reminder, things like classic Outlook on Windows does not support any of this.
Mm.
So,
Well, classic
if,
Outlook on Windows doesn't support anything
right. So
'cause it's,
those
like, obsolete
emails,
now, right?
yeah, those emails won't have the square corners, or won't have the rounded ones. They'll have square. Uh, and it's okay. Like, there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, it's PR, not the ER, people.
Yeah,
It's gonna
hopefully
it's gonna
you
be
don't
okay.
you don't lean too hard into the rounded corner.
Your email can't be just about rounded corners, but
Right.
otherwise, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Um, all right. How about some Will It Breeze? We'll get that started, and then I think we can hit some horoscopes while Breeze is working. See what past couple days have been rough. But scope, every integration we run, knowledge base, flag anything that looks wrong. Uh, Let's take a look. See, it's always I gotta flip these. I think I need to flip like app and scope because you have me until you say using knowledge base, right?
Yeah, and it's
Um,
like order of operations. The meaning changes.
yeah. So
Like,
we're gonna
let's eat
see.
grandma.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah. Uh, all right, we're gonna see what Breeze can do with this though, because often even the fact that like I mean the order of operations arguably can be way too important sometimes in HubSpot. So it's hard for folks to understand.
Yeah,
And when you ask a question like this to Breeze, like, and it doesn't know, like, it'll often ask, like, what do you mean?
nice.
Right. And even when it does that, it can be helpful for the user that's trying to figure out really
Yeah,
like,
to think about it and identify what they actually mean.
yeah. So who's sharing horoscopes? You want me to share my side or are you sharing your side? Or are we
You share
not
on your
sharing?
side since you're already
Okay.
sharing.
All right. We will go over to the horoscope, which if you check out anotherorangemorning.com, right on the nav. All right. Each week we're gonna, reframe some HubSpot product updates as an astrology reading. Uh, Take it away, Madeline.
Yeah, so on this page that Chris is showing for anyone listening, we can see what's happening in the sky right now because astrology is a lot like, well, astrology is a data model if you think about it. And so it's a lot like HubSpot. So it's fun to think about how we can relate to all of the different product updates based on like our personality type. But right now, it is Virgo season until September 22nd. So, like just earlier this week, it started. And Virgos are precise, useful, allergic to sloppy. A planet in Virgo is quietly fixing the thing nobody else noticed was broken. And right now, um, the sun, which is kind of not, I don't know if that is accurate for how to frame that, but and Mercury are
This is
in.
this is cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so, like, if you click around, you can see that helps me to think about it because I never got into astrology until, until I heard it explained or read it somewhere the perfect way that I needed to, like, think about it, and, again, it's thinking data models, apparently.
I definitely
But
resonate with this Aries, the sign that moves first and figures out the rest on the way.
yes.
Nailing it. All right. This
So,
week,
if you come to this horoscope page on anotherorangemorning.com, you can see not only what the current season is and a little bit about your sign, but you can also see your horoscope this week based on recent HubSpot product update. So, I'll go through at least the first few real quick, depending on how much time we have. But for us Aries, the image editor is your kind of update. Fast, useful, and ready before anyone can overthink it. This week, move quickly, crop ruthlessly, and ship the version that already works. Okay, that was a dig, I feel like. Whatever.
not a dig at all. It speaks to our week of, launching Hubsest, getting 2 newsletters out the door, getting a bunch of great feedback that we wouldn't have gotten, had we moved, slower. Um, and we made a lot of decisions, like, in those moments of, like, it wasn't just it wasn't completely flying by the seat of the pants, although we've never done anything like this before, but we made some intentional decisions about should we change this or change it later, and, had some great I always point to the great feedback moments where it's like we would not have gotten any of that, without moving, so
Yeah,
it was a good week, all of us Aries working together to knock that out.
yeah. All right. And then how about we read Virgo since it's Virgo season? Right. So cleanup automation can now delete unused blog drafts, not just archive them. And that is exactly your frequency. This is a week for removing what no longer earns its place and calling that progress. So, wow. Like basically the opposite of what we just read for Aries. So that's like perfect.
Yep. Um, this cleanup automation, it's making a ton of stuff like this
Yeah.
easier. Uh, and it's so important when you start depending on AI for looking at the portal and making decisions based on the context that it sees in the portal. Like if it has any whiff of this stuff that's just supposed to be archived, or we like named it archive or whatever we did to try and like as the human who's in it every day, we just give it this label and then we know, or we know to look at page 4 instead of the other pages, like moments like
Yeah.
that, right? Like AI is not going to do that. Breeze is not going to do that. And please don't build processes that try to get Breeze to do that, right? Now it's getting easier and easier to clean up this stuff. Um, so very cool. Well, I'm excited to see this. We've already had some initial feedback of folks appreciating this fun kind of point of view when it comes to thinking about HubSpot. And I
Yeah.
always think there's more points of view to think about HubSpot from that can unlock you from, oh, this is the way I've been doing it for 2, 3, 4, 10 years. And I've never thought about it in that other way. And now
Right.
maybe we're open to using some new stuff in HubSpot. So
And if you find it overwhelming, just the sheer amount of updates that there are, not just like in the year between inbound and unbound for this year, but like literally on the daily, there are things changing. So if you would appreciate a more filtered view, this is one way that you can get it. So anotherorangemorning.com/HubSpot dash horoscope. And in the works is a little email where you can get your horoscope on the weekly, but we'll
yep.
get there. We'll
Especially
get
for
there,
someone
Aries.
that is looking at this on my desk like every day. The universe
What does
wants
it
me to
say?
win, right? From the alchemist. Let's let's use some other universal signals to just embrace um, that. So back to Breeze as we wrap up. Uh, yes, after reviewing all installed integration, that was the real reason why I was excited to test
Right.
this. Like, imagine if Breeze, like whatever, like any non-zero percentage of how good Breeze is at reviewing all installed integration is going to be way better than whatever you had now, where, you know, HubSpot's been building a little bit of stuff to make that easier, but you know, there's always that moment where it's like, oh, can you help us clean up HubSpot? Yeah, just real straightforward. We want to look at these objects, and then you find out there's all these integrations in play that are actually messing with the data, and that team's not in charge of that part. And it's like, okay, can't really do much. So we've got most apps show no status available. Slack looks partially configured, not fully active. I know that to be correct. So uh, even when this process like just confirms context, it helps builds trust. Like in Breeze, Zoom is connected, but meeting sync is turned off globally. Um, that's on purpose. Several custom internal apps have placeholder support. Metadata, good to know. Uh, oh, so this is actually the list of apps that I was building with the Breeze Builder last month, right? So that just added more ideas into like the concept of an admin as an AI orchestrator and enabling humans across the platform to do things. Like that's how I best think about Breeze Builder. Like if you can enable somebody to just build an app in the moment instead of what they're doing now, which is going to Claude and ChatGPT to like build that app, and then you got to figure out what those permissions and integrations need to look like. Instead, they're going to be enabling, doing that with Breeze, and you'll have visibility like such as this to like make sure, like check in what's going on, like give me a weekly. I think an update earlier from earlier in the week was scheduled prompts, through Breeze Assistant. So always look for opportunities where if you like what happens in this conversation, like how can we make it standardized? What kind of SOP needs to be set up? How should we save how can we document, what's happened so I can do it again, like next time? So biggest flags to prioritize, Slack, Zoom, placeholder. This is actually going to be good feedback for that Breeze Builder team. So very cool. Breeze gave us a good look. Didn't use the knowledge base like at all, unless it went into the HubSpot knowledge base, then maybe. But I love highlighting the ambiguity of all the words that we use. So, but it's been a fun week. Thank you so much, Madelyn. And until next time, hope everybody has a great weekend. See you later.
Yeah. Great. Bye.